we just figure out controls the nose on the ground? The pedals, right? So this doesn't do anything on the ground. So remember, when you're controlling here, I don't want to see this going like that, because that will mess us up when we get at a liftoff speed. Because when the plane wants to come off, we don't want it to bank left or right away. We want it to stay nice and level as we come out. So we're going to keep the ailerons neutral because there's no wind. If there was wind, we would also add some aileron, but we're not worried about that. So there's no wind. So when we get up to a rotating speed, which is about 55 knots, we're going to start pulling back on the yoke. So the nose will come off the ground. Once you look outside and you see the nose come off the ground, I want you to put the horizon on the nose of the airplane. So you're going to bring the nose up so it covers up just over the horizon, and then adjust your pressure to keep it there. So you may have to add back pressure, or you may actually have to relax some of your back pressure. So we'll play with that a little bit and work on our climb out. All right? So I'm going to unpause. All right, so our engine's running. We're on the runway. Go ahead and put your feet on the pedals, just like we have. Don't need any brakes because we're going to take off. Your right hand can come onto the throttle, left hand on the yoke. So we're ready to go. So remember, you're going to go full throttle this time. Instead of just adding in a little throttle, I want you to push it to the dash. And when it's there, the plane will just constantly start moving forward. You get situated, got to be ready for it. So once you go full power, that nose, what we talked about, where's the nose going to want to go? To the left. So to counteract that, you can almost anticipate just a little bit of right rudder. And you can adjust that pressure to keep that nose line. Okay, to keep that center line, nose lined up. And your left hand is going to gradually start to pull back on the yoke when we reach our speed. I'll let you know when to start pulling back, so don't worry too much about that. I want you to focus on maintaining that center line and then working the nose up when I tell you to, okay? All right, whenever you're ready, Holly, full power, let's take off. All right, good. So just relax a little right rudder. So you're letting it come back. Use a little left rudder now. This a nudge. There you go. Now come off the left rudder and push a little right, not much. There you go. Start pulling back on the nose now. Go ahead and start pulling back. Yeah. There you go. Now we're in the air. So remember, I want you to put it right on that horizon. Stop. So now push forward a little. And keep it. Yeah. I'll bring it back. Yeah. No, you're getting the feel for it. Pull up just a little bit. And bring the nose so it just covers up that horizon right on the nose. Excellent. Right here. This is where we want to keep it. So you're adjusting your pressure just like you're doing to keep it right here without pitching too high or too low. So if you look inside, our speed's pretty constant and we have a climb. We took off. That's as easy as the takeoff is. So now what we're going to do is I want you to level the plane off at 1,000 feet. So we're going to push the nose down in a second. So 1,000, start bringing the nose down. Good. We're coming down to that horizon a little bit further. Now take the throttle and bring the throttle back. There you go. About right there. Perfect. Now on the yoke, go ahead and turn it to the right a little. You can see we're banking left. There you go. Now relax. Yep. Back to level. And bring the nose back down. Perfect. Back down to the horizon. Just a little further. Excellent. Right in here. This is straight and level. So right now what we're doing is we're still climbing just a little bit. So I'm going to just decrease a little power and just pitch the nose down a tiny bit more. So push forward on the yoke just a little more. Bring it down. Perfect. Right there. So this is a level setting. So if we look outside, we can see the horizon is almost right in the center of the screens. Well, you can see it's coming up. Let's push it back down to get that horizon there again. There it is. Perfect. So now you can see we've stopped our climb and we're cruising. We're at a good airspeed. RPMs are looking good. And we're not turning anywhere. This is straight level. So now we're going to make a turn to the east. So we're going to go to a 090 heading. So to do a right turn, you're going to bank right, So let's add the bank. Start banking right. Now we're going to bank to 20 degrees. So you're glancing inside. Keep going. We're going to go to that second tick. So now, go to the neutral setting. Relax back to neutral. Notice how it's still turning. And we're going to add just a little bit of back pressure. So you're just going to pull a little bit. Perfect. And now we're in a turn. So go ahead and keep it turning out a little more to the right. There you go. Good. And it's in a constant right turn. So we're climbing just a little bit. So we're adjusting the pitch to keep that horizon outside nice and flat where we want it. There we go. Looking good. As we come up to our heading, now start rolling the opposite direction to bring the wings back to that flat position. There we go. And relax forward on the yoke a little bit. Push forward. There you go. So it doesn't balloon up on us as we roll out. And we're on an easterly heading now. So you've got it. We've got our climb. We've got our turns down. Descents are very similar. So to descend, we pull back the throttle. That's the first thing. So just pull back the throttle for me.
All the way?
Let's go to 1900 RPM. So look over here. As you pull back, look at the numbers. They'll decrease. So start pulling back. It takes a lot to change it. So keep pulling. Keep pulling. We're going to go to 1900 over here. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. About right there. Now you can relax off that. Come back here.
Oh.
No, you're fine. You're fine. 18's fine. So notice what's happening. What just happened? The nose wants to fall,
Yeah.
which is okay. We just adjust the pitch. Go ahead and pull a little back pressure in, just a little bit right there. And we're adjusting the pitch so that it still descends, but we control the rate by adjusting the pitch. So if we just let go, the nose will want to start to dive. So we're just adding a very slight back pressure to keep it slightly below the horizon, to keep a nice, smooth, steady descent. Very good. We're turning a little bit left, so let's go back to the right a little bit. So adding just a little bit of right bank in. And then we're going to keep it, so go ahead and neutralize your ailerons. And we're going to let it keep rolling until we hit east. So it's going. Very good. Now start to roll them out to anticipate us getting there. Start to roll it out back to level. There you go. Keep going. Not quite level. And looking outside, you can almost see that. There we go. Very good. We're back at level, back to neutral. Now we're going to go ahead and add a little bit more forward pressure, let the nose come down a little more. And we're going to come down to 1,000 feet. There we go. Very good. Not too bad, huh? All right, now we're going to go ahead and Holly, we're going to climb. So go ahead and come to the throttle. You're going to go full power, and you're going to increase the pitch of the nose. So let's start pulling back on the yoke while you're adding the power. We're going to increase the pitch again to cover up the horizon with that nose. Get that nose right up to the horizon. Just get that nose up to the horizon. Keep pulling right there. Perfect. You're going to keep it right here. And this is holding a nice steady climb rate right now. So you've got a nice steady climb, the wings are level on the horizon, and you've got a nice climb going. This is looking good. All right, now that you're a master ace, now you've got to land this thing. So, oh boy. So we've got all the basics down, so now I'm going to move you. So we're lined up with the runway. So I'm going to set this up. You have some fun. Keep flying around. Alright, so we're going to move. Let's see how close this gets us to the runway. And we're going to come in on a nice long approach. Let's come in and land. So let's take a look. So with the landing, you saw how to turn the airplane with the bank and with the ailerons. We're going to need to use little bits of rudder pressure to help control the nose as well. So the ailerons do a lot of the major turning. For little tiny fine-tuned adjustments, use little bits of rudder to help maneuver the nose. So we can see our runway in front of us. That's where we're going to be headed. And we're going to start cruising, and I'm going to tell you when. We're going to pull the throttle back. And we're going to start a nice steady descent down to the runway. But we're going to start this heading straight out there. So I'm going to hit unpause. There we go. We're going to start cruising. We're cruising. So let's go ahead and move to the left just like you're doing and get ready to roll it out. And we're going to fly a little bit to the left of the runway to help line up early. This is perfect. There we go. So now we're going to go ahead and bring some throttle back. We're going to go ahead and add 1 notch of flaps. I want you to focus on the runway itself. So you're working with alignment right now, just to align yourself with the runway. With the throttle pulled back, the nose wants to kind of fall forward. So you just adjust it so that we're not too steep down and we're holding a nice pitch attitude on our runway. And I'm going to play with your throttle and your flaps to kind of help out in that station. I want you to focus on alignment. Got it. So what you're going to do is just very small, because we don't want to make a large change, a small change, aim for that point over at the terminal. And that's going to go ahead and get us to that runway. Remember to use lots of rudders as well. So rudders are going to help here too. Good. Now back to level. No, you're fine. Keep your hands there. I'm just going to help add some little pressures in. So now that we're aiming here, we're turning it in. Keep your hands up. You're in control, not me. So we got level. All right, I'm going to let go. You're going to keep it, and then go ahead and pull a little. There you go. Excellent. Adding in our second notch of flaps, we'll relax just a little bit. Go ahead and anticipate a little bit of bank there. Good. Keep it coming in. Looking good. Got a nice, good pitch attitude here. We're working it down to the runway. Looking good. Small little movements. You can use your rudders too to help.
Don't kill us.
Looking good. All right, good speed. So start rolling to the left. Start rolling left so you can anticipate it's going to keep banking, remember. So once it's there, go back to neutral and then roll it out. There you go. And use little bits of rudder pressure to help. So a little bit in. Good. So when we start getting down there, you're going to start thinking about pulling back and bringing the nose level. But for now, keep coming in into the runway. I'll tell you when to start to flare. Keep it right here. A little higher, because you want to aim for just before that threshold. Excellent. Aim a little further down now. There you go. Little left rudder too to help. There you go. Good. Good. Right bank just a little bit. Level. Go back to that level. There you go. Keep it in. You're doing great. Keep it coming in. I'm adding in your next flap. Keep it down. Keep the nose slightly down. Right there. Good. Now bring it up slightly. Don't let it come too far. It's going to start getting really wavy the closer we get, right? So excellent. So little bits of rudder pressure. Fine-tune rudder. Looking good. We're going to add a little bit of left. Keep it coming forward. There you go. A little bit of rudders, looking good. So even if we're a little to the right, that's okay, as long as we're on the runway, right? Now go ahead and grab the yoke. You're on the yoke. And good. Start easing the nose slightly up, but we're going to keep coming down a little lower. Little lower. There we go. All right, now I want you to start bringing that nose up. Start bringing that nose up. Relax. Good. Good. Keep bringing the nose up. Bring the nose up. Bring the nose up. Keep bringing it up. Bring it up. Nice. And brakes. So go ahead and slide up to the top of the pedals. And brakes. Oh, little right rudder. There you go. And hit those brakes. So you got the brakes. And we're coming off to the left. Hey, not too bad. Going off the left runway. All right. How was that?
That was fun.
Pretty cool?
Yeah.
So that's what the flight's going to feel like when we're out in the plane. So that's 610.8. We'll just throw this in here real quick. So you had fun, Holly?
Yeah.
Good, good. Well, what we'll do when we hop out, we're going to take a look at the weather and see what it's done while we've been in here.